Tengu 230 here, along with Skwalker. Thanks for joining me, man. There he is.
No problem.
The E3 conference showcasing the games we'll be playing in the future is over now, and we just have to wait for those games that we're keeping our eye on to release. One of the hardest parts to do. But anyway, Skwalker and I have parsed through the games that resonated loudly with us. So we're just going to reveal our top 5 from E3 based on how much we really want to play them, along with our 5 honorable mentions. So in the comments below, please feel free to post your top 5 games from the conference. Alright, so you ready to get started?
I am very ready to discuss this year's crop of games.
Alright, so since you are my guest, let's begin with your number 5, and then we'll work our way up. So, go ahead, buddy.
So, in at number 5 for myself is the newly announced Elder Scrolls 6, which is coming to us from Bethesda. The release date is yet to be announced. So far, we've had only really received a title screen tease, but the prospect of a new single-player offline Elder Scrolls really did resonate my attention. So far, we don't know anything really about where it's going to be set, but theorists are already scrambling to work looking at that single screenshot. And people have established that the new game may be set in High Rock, which is just west of Skyrim and north of Hammerfell. I would very much like to see this area explored. I have heard it is a pretty interesting area of Tamriel, but at the same time, you know, it might not be this area. I would also be very open to maybe seeing somewhere like Valenwood, Elsewhere, or even the Black Marsh. Either way, I'm honestly hoping it could be another groundbreaking RPG like Oblivion, which was unique if flawed, or Skyrim, which is now really considered just to be an absolute RPG classic among many gamers. So, my hopes are high, and I hope Bethesda really does deliver on this one.
Alright, so my number 5 is Concrete Genie. It's like has puzzle painting gameplay. It's also a coming-of-age story about a bullied teenager named Ash. And he paints creatures and living landscapes, like on walls and stuff, to escape his troubles. And by doing this, he finds out that the city that he lives in, which is called Denska, he can like purify the city. So it's kind of like an Okami for me kind of thing, you know. Once you get rid of like the evil, like all the beautiful landscape just washes everything, you know. And the art style's awesome, and it's probably something I'm gonna purchase.
It does sound like a very interesting game, and I really do think it is interesting to see more games taking on the slice of life story aspect.
Yes,
I mean, there are things like the classic David Cage games, which do it, but in a very unique way to be...
I feel like you're trying to say something nice. This is the nicest way you can put it.
But, I mean, other games like... I believe it's called Unravel, the game which you played.
Unravel,
character, of which actually there is a second one coming out.
Yeah, they released it when they showed it.
Did they?
Out.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
well, there you go, it's out. But, you know, games like that which have a show-don't-tell story kind, I think they are becoming more popular, and while I'm not much of a purveyor of them, or I'm not much of a connoisseur, they definitely do help elevate gaming in some medium and can kind of show off its potential to be more than just a simple distraction to go shoot up noobs on Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm always looking for something like a little more when I'm playing like nowadays, you know. Alright, so what is your number 4?
My number 4 is another title from Bethesda. It is Fallout 76, which is due to be released on November 14th in 2018, with the beta hopefully taking off sometime in late September to October. So, this is Fallout, but multiplayer, and it's going to be set on what's known as Reclamation Day, which is 25 years after the bombs dropped. The choice of setting this time will be West Virginia, and please forgive my shoddy American geography being a Brit. but I believe that will be set just south of the capital wasteland in DC and a little ways further south of Boston, I think. I don't know where Boston is, unfortunately. there's a Boston in the UK, somewhere in Suffolk or somewhere, but I don't know where the American one
is. I did not know that, Yeah, it's northeast, for Boston.
Yeah, so it's going to be, so I think it's going to be in a way in the same vein as the Elder Scrolls Online, but we're going to be looking a little bit more leaning towards Rust in a way, so there's going to be a survival element in the game as humans attempt to reclaim the wasteland from probably the new mutants and all the other lovely forms of life which have moved in since the bombs dropped. Now, while I'm not much of a MMO RPG person, the last one I ever played was RuneScape, which sadly has passed away.
Yes, alright.
But it could be probably the first MMORPG I would probably pick up, and it is a very interesting move because I honestly would like to see if this could work, because it's clearly working for the Elder Scrolls, and I think it could work for Fallout, so I do await with great interest to see more information about this game come out, and if it does look good enough, I would very much be interested in maybe picking up a copy and having a little play around with it.
Yeah, same for me. I'm a little like on the fence, because it's like I like how it brings people together. And, there is, like, a co-op aspect, especially if you, like, bring your friends over.
Yes.
And they said there was also, you can solo it if you want to.
Yes, that definitely does appeal to me.
Yeah.
I am very much a lone wolf in multiplayer.
Yeah.
I am usually somewhere on the other side of the map pursuing the objective by my own.
Yeah.
So that does appeal to me, but also I want to see how well it caters to that. But yeah, I'm just really interested and more curious in a way.
I think so too. Same here. Like, I want to see. I mean, I'm assuming. Whenever the beta comes out, you're going to give it a shot too, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on there.
If time allows, I would probably be having a look at it myself.
Let's hope it. I mean, it's a new direction for it. Totally, it's unexpected, but I hope it turns out well.
And that's what it should all be about, new directions, exploring the new. So, does your number 4 go in any interesting directions then?
Probably not, because it's mostly co-op, but number 4, I chose is Wolfenstein Youngblood. So I haven't beaten like Wolfenstein 2 yet, I really have to. But since I'm a co-op player, like that co-op experience with a friend here, it seems like it's just going to be having those crazy, like, bombastic moments that will probably happen in a Wolfenstein game, and I think it's just gonna be like really fun with you playing with somebody. And I'm imagining, and I'm imagining, like, stealth with your friend going right when you coordinate, or obviously stealth is gonna go wrong eventually, and you gotta like shoot your way out and stuff like that. And I think it's just gonna be pretty like explosive, and at the same time, just like the previous 2 Wolfenstein games, there's hopefully going to be just moments of humanity to ground the game. So
yeah, I mean, Wolfenstein has been a very interesting evolutionary journey from a simple game on the Wolf engine, I believe it was called, in the world's worst maze, as you sort of wandered around, killed people as they screamed "Mein Leben," and then killed Mecha Hitler.
Yeah.
So while I'm not too attuned with the newer Wolfensteins, I have heard they kind of make the game a bit more sensible, or at least it's still quite bombastic and strange.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's added a more human touch to a game that was originally just kill Hitler and see how big your balls get doing so. But hopefully at the same time there's just still that little ID software touch in a way, just that little spirit of days gone by when RPGs, or better yet FPSs to be more accurate, had that attitude.
Usually having like a co-op partner playing like game where you're just shooting stuff or going stealth. It's, hopefully that's a good time. I mean, I've been having a good time with Far Cry 5 with Vince, and you know, just let's see how it goes.
Yeah, co-op done right can just make a game 10 times better.
Yeah, Portal 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So what is your number 3, buddy?
So number 3 comes from Sega and is being developed by Sumo Digital. It is Team Sonic Racing, slated to be released in autumn 2018. So this is a karting game based on the Sonic universe. But this one definitely comes with some unique things and actually gave me sort of reminders of Sonic Heroes in a way. So, when people think a game's going for the cheaper kart racing game, they do think usually it might flop, but it has been proven in the past that Sonic Team and Sega can get these kind of games right. See Sonic Riders, which is still one of my favourite racing games to this day. And it really just played so nice. I mean, it had things for everyone. You had your speed characters like Sonic, your characters who could fly like Tails, and then your characters who just beat stuff up like Knuckles. That's back in the game, except it's now being called Speed, Technique and Power, so I don't know what Technique will be, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. And also it's going to have a team-based aspect, so it's going to be 12 competitors into 4 teams of 3. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I really do want to see how that goes, actually. I think it could be really interesting, and I think it's once more just trying to put a unique twist on the kart racing genre. So if it goes right, more power to them for doing that. And we've got 2 confirmed tracks so far as well. We've got Planet Wisp and Spagonia. Apparently there's going to be other locations from the Sonic universe. Have my own little wish list of zones like the Final Fortress, the Flying Battery, Studiopolis, Stardust Speedway, and Hydrocity. Also, there's going to be a possible story mode known as Team Adventure Mode, so maybe we will just get a new Sonic Heroes out of this, but it's in carts.
When you told me this was going to be like your number 3, I had to check out the trailers and everything, and it looks good, like visually. And from what you're saying, you think it's like a good, I guess, evolution from what you've been playing previously?
Well, that's still waits to be seen, because I think Sonic Riders, I mean, just as a clarifier, I've only played the first Sonic Riders. There were 3 of them. There was Zero Gravity, which apparently did actually give the genre a nice twist, and then there's the third one, which no one liked because it forced you to use the Xbox Kinect.
Oh, really?
But
I did not know that.
Okay. But the first one really was such a fantastic game. And honestly, I've played it to death, and in a way, I want more. So hopefully this game, while it's in a car instead of a hoverboard, I still want more, and I want to see how it goes.
Man, dude, you are super excited for it. And your excitement's probably going to get me excited for it.
There's other games that I'm more excited for. Yeah. But maybe your number 3 pick could also get some excitement out of me.
Alright, cool. Nice segue, by the way. I like that. Alright, so you knew this coming in. My 3 is Last of Us Part 2. And this is going to be like an intense ride. Especially with the gameplay reveal that they showed, and you didn't even fight any of the mutated creatures, no clickers or anything. And for me, it brings back the feeling from the first one, where you have to think on your feet as you're pursued by all manner of enemies and stuff like that. And the AI looks like, I mean, it was already kind of smart, but it looks smarter, like here, trying to box you in, you know. And you know, after seeing that, things are definitely not going to be easy. And, you know, I'm expecting my hands to shake and with some adrenaline pumping encounters after it's done as I escape these crazy survival situations. So
I do agree with you there. While I am a bit of a stranger to the Last of Us, I guess now we can call it, series. Yeah. I do think there is something of great value in having great AI thinking against you. I agree. And now we are in the age where we have, you know, better hardware in a way, smarter processors, and all that. AI really is beginning to evolve in new and interesting ways, and I think it is definitely high time that we have some developers trying to really push AI to its absolute limits now. So it would be cool to basically see an enemy that sort of in a way learns from you, and also just really does employ tactics that are more than just popping in and out of cover or running directly at you, but those moments where you're caught off your guard, and that's just what really can make a game have so much more longevity, and can also make you so scared you might never want to pick it up again until you man up and beat that challenger, man. Oh, the adrenaline you get as a reward is fantastic.
Yeah. It's like, it needs to be, at the same time too, I think it needs to be balanced, because you don't want it to just like kick your ass like the whole time too.
Oh no, you don't. And I mean, I know that The Last of Us is also a very story driven game as well, so I think components will need to be balanced very well in order to make sure it's playable enough for you to stay invested in the story.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, on all accounts I have heard, it's looking to be a very good sequel to what was already a very good game.
Yep, totally agree. Can't wait till it comes out. So, all right, we are heading toward our top 2. All right, so what is your number 2 pick?
Number 2 was a surprise to me, because I thought I'd broken ties with this publisher for good. But it is Forza Horizon 4, published by Microsoft and being developed by Playground Games. Now, just for context, I have an Xbox One. I have not bought a single game for that Xbox One since 2016, which was also the last time I ever switched it on. Now, the reason why I stopped playing it was because I'd switched to PC. Halo 5 had let me down supremely, and also there were just no good exclusives. But it does seem Microsoft has begun to listen to the consumers, and is now has announced that they've acquired a bunch of new studios, new developers, and they're hoping to crank out loads of new exclusives. And I am very much looking forward to Forza Horizon 4, mainly because I have played the first 2 Forza Horizons. The first one I thought was absolutely fantastic, had its flaws because it was on the Xbox 360, so there were some limitations, but it was a visually beautiful game. It was pretty realistic in the driving, and it was really a good Forza game. Horizon 2 came to the Xbox One once more. Fantastic graphics, but did have its flaws once more, like the world size I found a little bit too small, and also the microtransactions were beginning to become a little bit of a bedbug for me. And I do hear that Horizon 3 had the same issue of microtransactions and all that, but I haven't played it, so I can't give you a definite answer. Horizon 4, however, looks like it's bringing absolutely loads of new toys to the kit, and I am super excited for it. It's going to be set in Blighty, also known as the UK. Not sure which part of the UK it is, because I haven't quite read it all up yet. But just looking at it, it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the south of England, probably Somerset or somewhere, also known as Soida Country, which, I don't know, I'm a rival with because I'm a Yorkshireman myself, and I think our county is the best because we do call it God's own county for a reason. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We've got dynamically changing seasons as well, so it's going to cycle between summer, winter, autumn and spring, which will bring about it with different weathers. But with it being somewhere in the south of England, it will actually just be rain. And it's going to be loads of new cars, free roaming around the English countryside, and honestly, if they get the world size right, if they get a good selection of cars, and they keep the microtransactions under control and don't have them everywhere, just have them in the background or something where if you want to spend your money, then go do it, but stop making me trying to do it. I think it could actually be the first Forza Horizon game that could get everything right. I do love free roaming car games more than track-based ones, and honestly, Horizon 1 did capture my imagination, 2 didn't quite, and I really hope 4 can recapture that feeling I got from the first one, just that buzz of free roaming without a care in the world, and then
Yes.
pitting into a race because, hey, why not?
So if you decide to pick this up, I will play with you.
You are on.
All
you
right.
are on.
Okay, we'll do it.
But if you do like coming in second so much, what
I
is your
do.
number 2 game?
I do. That happens all the time whenever we play strategy game. But anyway, my number 2 is Ghost of Tsushima, and I was waiting for more gameplay footage since like last year before when they showed the that little announcement trailer. I was like, I wanted to see some gameplay, and like first thing is like the game is striking, just like visually. It's like the way the sun pierced through the clouds, like the lighting was awesome. And once you got on the horse, you're going through the fields, like the wind swayed. Each individual stock was like, swaying too. It was sweet. And I was ready for a battle to begin. And so when we got to it, I was hoping the main character would like fulfill and embody all the samurai movies I watched.
Yeah.
And when he took out that first enemy in like a single hit, I was like, fuck yeah. So I was like nodding my head and just going yes, and the rest was cool, and I just can't wait to play this game.
I would say, I think as we've got further into this console generation, of so-called next-gen games have now started to look a little samey to me.
Yeah.
But there was something about Ghost of Tsushima that did look quite fresh.
Yeah.
And the fighting that I saw in one of the trailers just looked really fluid, actually, like proper samurai-like once more.
Yeah, like blocking and like attacking, just like parrying and like all that stuff. It looked, I don't know. I mean, people use this word a lot, but it looked visceral, I think, and it just looked like how a fight should look like. A deadly dance, I guess you should say.
The dance of 1,000 swords or katanas or
Yeah, we'll probably have those names for like the skills or something in the skill tree or something like that if there is one. But,
yeah. And I mean, it also looks like it's going to be set in an interesting time period. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is going to be set after the Sengoku period, isn't it?
I have no idea, but I just know the Mongols are invading.
Oh, the Mongols have rocked up. Right, so it's
Yes.
probably going to be pre-Sengoku period then. We're looking somewhere around the 1400s.
Yeah, I'll refer to your history on that because I don't know shit.
Well, if you want to know history, then you may want to mosey on down to my number 1 pick then.
Okay, go for it, man. What is your number 1 pick for this E3?
Anyone who watches my channel knows what my favourite game series in the world is, and that is the Total War series. While I may not have played every Total War there is, I am honestly in love with that series. I will never be out of love of that series, and actually on the day we record this, it's actually the 18th anniversary of the first Total War game.
Is it?
It is 18 years since Shogun won, and I guess fittingly, we are returning back to the Orient with Total War Three Kingdoms. Not set in Japan, but set in China during the Three Kingdoms period, which was in the 2nd century. Now, what's going on around here is it is now the time where China is not having a fun time of being unified. A tyrannical dictator has just passed away, and now everyone is basically wanting to rule the world, or at least all of China. So there is going to be deception, cunning, diplomacy, warfare, all that lovely good stuff, and it's actually going to be a game that blends legend with history, for it is a very legendary time within Chinese history, and one that we don't quite have all the pieces of as well. But it's also going to be the first full fat major historical Total War title since the Warhammer 1 game, as Thrones of Britannia was just more like a side game in a way.
Yeah.
It's going to be set once more in China, where we were expecting to have a massive campaign map encompassing the entire scale of China, so it is a place that has extremely diverse climates and environments, from the jungles of the south, the deserts and the steppes of the north, the coast. the deserts of the West. I mean, it's going to be an absolute joy to look at that campaign map and fight on all these different areas. I believe there'll be plenty of factions vying for dominance. And there's actually going to be some elements from the Warhammer series being brought in as well, such as the heroes mechanic, which was basically individual heroes on the battle map who have more strength than the average soldier, can cut down many men. And also the big addition is the dueling mechanic, which is going to open up some strategic new doors where you can pit your generals against each other as they fight in a mano-a-mano duel to the death. And honestly, this could revolutionise how some people fight their battles, and honestly, if this really works, if this really takes off, because the duels shown in the gameplay trailer also just looked brilliant. It looked like something straight out of a kung fu movie. I hope that this mechanic actually makes its way into Warhammer 3, because I would love to see the Legendary Lords dueling it out one-on-one as well.
Wow. Dude, everything you said, I didn't even know they had a one-on-one thing, and that sounds really cool.
It took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting it, because usually the Lord is someone who you just protect and leave at the back of the battlefield, unless you're me, and then I just kind of just chuck him wherever I feel like it. But yeah, this time they're going to be a bit more honourable and fight their betters or fight their equals, or who they may think are their beneath us. But it's going to be an interesting new mechanic, and I really want to see how it plays out. And also, just as well as with all the cunning diplomacy of China at the time, it's just going to be such an interesting turn of events. And since I love coming in first, but I will give you the opportunity to be in first now.
All right.
Please.
Cool.
What is the game you want to see most this year?
My number one pick is from CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077. And I've been waiting for this game since the announcement in 2012. And when I saw it, it was colorful, exuberant, and it really looks to capture that cyberpunk style. So, you said you can obviously create your character, male or female, and recently, after they showed the trailer, they said it is in first person, which was like, yes, interesting, right? But there will be times, since it is an RPG, where you'll be able to see the character that you made, probably from dialogue and from the when you drive your car. They said if the AI is taking control of your car, you can actually just shoot out of it so you can see your character.
Otherwise, it would be a bit of a
it'd be a little weird, right? So that was from the closed door session, and hopefully from that closed door session, because usually about a week or two, maybe, or a month, they show that closed door stuff, so we can get to see some gameplay later. And from what I read, though, from the people who watched the closed door session, they seem to come away impressed with the player choice through dialogue options and stuff like that, gameplay variety, and the visual fidelity. So I can't wait. There's no release date, and I can't wait to. I love Cyberpunk. So
I honestly thought the cyberpunk genre had died a death, because I remember probably maybe about 2 or 3 years ago everyone was doing it. So I think it's good that the genre has gone and had a bit of a rest, and now it looks like it's going to come back fresh, new, and hopefully CD Projekt Red, being the people behind the Witcher series, make something that lives up to that scope. I mean, it's a lovely new direction for them to take. And I know that the Witcher games, honestly, they're considered to be some of the best quality RPGs that have ever been made. So I would assume expectations have been set, honestly, higher than a 20-foot building.
Definitely, dude. It's insane, dude. I just can't wait to explore the world. All right, so that was our top 5. I also talked to Skwalker, and we also had some 5 honorable mentions.
But that's going to be in part 2 of our E3 conversation. So if y'all made it this far, thanks for watching. And as always, take care and Tengu 30 out. Right, Charles? Keep on, everybody, and keep smiling.
14 people are dead, 4 others suffered serious injury.